Oh, what's this? New location? I'm just kidding. Hey there, guys. How are you? Welcome back to another awesome video. New location? No, just in my kitchen, mainly because I figured try something different. So, welcome back to another awesome video, and it's time for another top 10 video. Now, I know none of you requested this or anything, but I did get a special request, and I want to point this out because this is a special person out there who means a lot to me. My very special lady friend, my love, whatever you want to call it, my special lady friend. Um, I don't know if she uses her actual name, but her sort of YouTube channel is her name's Kayla Timmons, and this goes out to you. I hope you love it, babe, because she kind of requested it in a way, and she doesn't have any content yet, but I hope to help her in that sort of case somewhere down the line in the future. But give her some subscribers, give her some support, and all that sort of fun jazz, and that should be good. But I figured I'd talk about this because she requested this, and plus, I mean, it's not that big of a deal anymore. But seeing how Captain Marvel and you got superhero like heroine movies, like you got Wonder Woman that did successfully 2 years ago, and it's still an amazing film now. Captain Marvel, it did. I guess it did some things right, and then there's other things that didn't. But we'll discuss that another time. Point is, there's a lot of big superheroines getting their own movies. Speaking of which, obviously, both Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel will be getting sequels, of course, because we got Wonder Woman 84 coming out next year, and then Captain Marvel 2 is going to be coming out probably like after Phase 4 or something like that. I know Marvel said something about Captain Marvel 2. And you got stuff like Birds of Prey happening next year, all sorts of fun like that. But I figured let's talk about, so for my top 10 list, we're going to be doing the top 10, since we're talking about Marvel, is the top 10 Marvel characters, well, to be specific, female Marvel characters that deserve their own MCU film. So for this list, I've decided to go with, obviously, the characters, the super heroines, the female heroes and villainesses that I think deserve their own flicks in a way. And not because of feminism or any shit like that, because I don't know, I don't want to get into that sort of political thing, but not for that reason, because Captain Marvel meant to be a feminist movie, which we'll talk about another day and get into that. But there's that. But I figured these women deserve their own films because they have great stories to tell. They're pretty big in the comics, and they're how much an influence they have had recently and back then in comics, cartoons, video games, whatever. And so these are the characters I think that deserve them the most. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it with number 10. So number 10 is kind of going to be like it's an odd technicality, but I'll allow it because usually what I do is I allow one person per number. But for number 10, I've decided to go with Black Cat and Silver Sable. So with Black Cat and Silver Sable, I bring these two up together specifically is because we were supposed to get some supposedly Sony, after the success of Venom, and then they're gonna have Morbius coming out, and they're gonna do other things with also the other Spider-Man characters. One movie in particular they're gonna do was Black Cat and Silver Sable. It was gonna be called Black and Silver. I mean, it's a lame title, but the idea sounds cool. It would have been better if they put this in the MCU, and I think these two would be great in the MCU. You introduce more female characters, not only within the MCU, but you introduce them through Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has quite a few affairs. Like, it might seem shocking, but through his years of comics, he's gone from girl to girl to girl. Not in a bad way. It's just a lot of shit would happen. He lost Gwen Stacy. Things happened with Mary Jane. Felicia Jones. Felicia Harding became obviously an affair for him, and so on and so on and so on. So not only bringing Black Cat to the MCU would be cool and stuff like that, you can really have a nice dynamic to sort of interactions with Tom Holland and whoever you may get as Black Cat. Maybe Chloe Grace Moretz. I think she'd be great. She'd be phenomenal. Some people might say Dove Cameron. I don't know. So you have that, and Silver Sable's a badass. Like, come on, she's basically like a spy, espionage, like assassin type chick. So it'd be kind of cool, and just they don't have to be paired up together in this movie, but bringing these to the MCU could be something cool. And then seeing how we got Spider-Gwen, and how we got there's gonna be more female characters coming forward with Spider-Man characters. We got MJ and stuff like that. I think it'd be really great to add more characters along the way besides Spidey tackling all these villains by himself. Number 9. So number 9 is Enchantress. Now, I'm not talking about Suicide Squad's Enchantress, because let's not talk about her. Okay? Please, let's not. Hate to say it, but that was the worst thing about that movie. But Marvel has their own Enchantress, and she's a lot better. So I know I said I'd say a lot more heroines, but this is the one villainess I think deserves her own film. Because, let's face it, DC's got Harley Quinn right now, and they're going to make a lot of money with her and probably make film after film. They were going to do a Harley Quinn movie. They're going to have the Birds of Prey. They're going to have the Gotham City Sirens. They're going to have Joker and Harley. And then Harley would have had her own film. It's like the Harley fatigue doesn't stop. She has her own TV show that's coming out on the DC streaming service. So, not that I want Enchantress to be like that, but let's see some villainesses have their own stories in the Marvel Universe. And I think that'd be great for Enchantress. Enchantress has always been one of my favorite Marvel villainesses and one of my favorite Marvel villains, in a way. The way she's very manipulative, but she's also very powerful for someone who's very, very seductive, very manipulative, and has a way of mind control. So that could be really cool. Plus, we had a great villainess, Hela. Maybe you can have her appear in the film. And I'm not going to have Enchantress be bogged down to an anti-hero, sort of like what they did with Suicide Squad and everything, and that sort of crazy thing about it. Having, basically the villains fight a villain. I mean, it could be Enchantress fighting Hela. That'd be cool, and there's still villains. I don't know. But point is, I wouldn't make Enchantress an anti-hero in the movie. I would still have her be a villain. But why not? We're gonna have Thor 4, which is coming out. So there's gonna be that. Hela, like I said, did really well in terms of an MCU villainess for the most part. Loki's getting his own TV series. So let's somehow have Enchantress, Amora somehow intertwined into this universe with the Asgardians and with how she is affiliated with those characters. And plus, it could tease the possibility of maybe bringing the Master of Evil. If they want to go the route with the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes did, where they had Enchantress a part of that team, that was awesome. Number 8 is Valkyrie, speaking of Asgardians. And kind of an obvious choice, but a pretty good choice. And the obvious answers sometimes are the best answers, because Valkyrie seems like she's getting a lot of praise. She's getting a lot of potential because of Tessa Thompson. I think Tessa Thompson really brings this character in a different way. It's definitely interesting too how she was brought. It's definitely not she's just a warrior. It's no, she's kind of got this sort of drunken attitude to her, kind of give her a little charisma. It was funny. So Tessa Thompson's definitely getting a lot of looks at that. She's now appearing in a lot more films. She's probably gonna be in the next Thor movie. There's also the stuff blowing up with Valkyrie. Why not give her own story? It seems like there's a lot of stuff they can do with Valkyrie, whether it's stuff they take from what we saw in Endgame with her being queen of Asgard, of New Asgard, maybe doing something like that. There's a big rumor that they want to put her and Captain Marvel as a thing, like an LGBTQ thing. I don't mind that. So maybe there's that. There's a few things you can do, to be quite honest. So there is some potential for this character, and I want to see more of Valkyrie. I think it would be cool to see more of Tessa Thompson in the MCU. And seeing how we didn't get to see much of her in Infinity War, maybe we could explain what happened to her during Infinity War. Did she get snapped? Did she not? Did she die in the beginning of the movie? Because we saw all of Asgard basically wiped out by Thanos on that ship. Was Valkyrie supposed to be one of those people? Where did she go from there? Was she snapped? What happened? So there's a lot of things they could do with this, and I'd be on board for it. Number 7, it's another weird difficulty and technicality, but I will do this on a rare occasions where I put 2 people in one spot, but well, whether they have to do with each other or not. But number 7, Black Widow and Spider-Gwen. These 2 are pretty obvious because right now Black Widow is getting her own film, and that's pretty obvious because we saw that at Comic-Con. We're getting that next year, and whether that's the case or not, I've kind of been intrigued of a Black Widow film. Everyone has been wanting a Black Widow film because she was the first MCU character, well, not MCU character, but female MCU character to show up. So it makes sense to give her own film. And then people have been wanting it for years and years, ever since Age of Ultron, ever since Iron Man 2. So to give her own film now is great. And you need someone in that MCU heroism, the heroine, yeah. I'm right, female heroes, I'm right, heroine. Not the drug, so, but joke aside. Because DC already put out Wonder Woman, so Marvel's kind of got to be like, oh shit, now we really gotta put Black Widow in there eventually. And it's a little bit weird because, well, what happened with Endgame? Spoiler alert, she died. But it is cool that we're gonna see something involving her before Endgame. It could be before Infinity War, it could be after Civil War, it could be Iron Man 2, it could be after Iron Man 2, it could be after the Avengers, it could be any of those moments. It could be after Winter Soldier, whatever the case is. But I think one thing that would be really great to be addressed in this Black Widow film is what happened at Budapest. This whole run-on joke with Hawkeye and Black Widow about Budapest. What happened at Budapest? You know? How did Natasha Romanoff become this sort of like this spy that is bound to a lot of rules, and there's a lot of things that went happen to her and the struggles that she has? That'd be great to find out. And with Spider-Gwen, there's been rumor that that the second Into the Spider-Verse will have female characters, a lot of female Spider-Women, so maybe Jessica Drew, maybe Julia Carpenter, maybe Arana, she's a Latina Spider Girl. I remember reading about her, phenomenal comic. And then obviously Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy, stuff like that. So that's an obvious thing. But I think it'd be cool to somehow, maybe somewhere down the line, we can get like Gwen Stacy into the MCU, somehow like a Spider-Verse thing, open up the multiverse. Maybe not How Far From Home put it as, without saying too much about the film. I mean, kind of. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? But with Spider-Gwen, it'd be great. It adds more female characters that not only to the MCU but into that Spider world, like Spider-Man's little hometown, his own little thing going on. And plus, people want to see more Spider people in the MCU live action. People want to see Gwen Stacy. People want to see Miles Morales. People want to see 2099. Like all sorts of Spider people. And then bringing Spider-Gwen would be a good thing. And I think with the success of her character in Spider-Verse and with the sequel, because most likely she's gonna come back for the sequel, you gotta do something that's gonna be like, hey, she's relevant, so why not put her in the multiverse or somewhere in that live action MCU verse, whatever you want to call it. Number 6 is Rogue and Jessica Jones. So I know out of all the X-women and X-people or whatever Deadpool wants to call it, X-Men, X-people, X-women, whatever, I don't care. But out of all the female characters in the X-Men, why go with Rogue? Why not go Jean Grey? Why not go Storm? Why not go Psylocke? Why not go with anybody else? The thing is, let's talk about Jean Grey. I think Jean Grey would be excellent. You can really explore with her, but we've seen that a dozen of times. Well, it doesn't feel like okay, maybe I'm being exaggerated, but it feels like a dozens of times with X-Men 3, which did bad, and Dark Phoenix, which is doing even worse than X-Men 3. So that's sort of trying to do the Phoenix again. I think we need to kind of like take a back seat from Jean Grey for a bit. Storm, I'm not disagreeing with that idea. I think that'd be cool. Psylocke would be great as well. So that's another thing. But to me, I think Rogue would be really a lot more cooler because let's face it, some people are very ragey about Anna Paquin's Rogue from the original X-Men. How she wasn't this very spunky, very like Southern girl, Southern belle, like the 90s cartoon had her be, and how she is in the comics with the white hair, the brown, the sort of like edgy jacket, the green look, and everything. I think people want that. And if we are going to get, and I know we're not going to get X-Men anytime soon, but if they get their own solo flicks, I think Rogue should be one of them. Sure, we're going to have Wolverine. We'll maybe have another X-Men character, probably like Deadpool, or maybe another X-Men character have his own MCU like solo stories. But I think if we're going to have a female character, it has to be Rogue. She's the most interesting. I mean, she is interesting. How she's able to handle her powers. What are the restrictions? What are the restrictions of her capabilities? What can she do? What can't she do? And sure, there's comics about that, but no one really knows that much about her. Plus, if you have Rogue in the MCU, maybe somewhere down the line in her franchise, or maybe if she appears in a movie, you can have Gambit. That'd be great. Have Gambit finally, because Marvel and Fox have been postponing a Gambit film. We could change that around. The MCU could totally change that. So having Gambit, whether his own film or appear in this rogue movie, we can maybe have that chemistry finally that people have been wanting. And it'd just be kind of cool. I like Rogue. I'm a sucker for her. She's definitely my second favorite X-woman, I'd say. Maybe third, still. And with Jessica Jones, I know she had her Netflix series and everything, and that's whether that's canon or not, whether it's connected to the MCU, and that's canceled now. But this still doesn't mean that those Netflix characters that we saw, that doesn't mean that's the end of them. We could somehow, whether those Netflix shows are canon or not, we could still see these characters show up in the MCU. And I think Jessica Jones is definitely an interesting one, especially with how well she was portrayed in that Netflix TV show. Maybe keep it at the same grit, maybe make it lighthearted. I don't care. You could go keep it at a balanced tone of it's got fun moments, it's got dark moments, whatever you do with Jessica Jones. I'm all board for an MCU Jessica Jones film. That'd be great. We could finally have some Netflix characters show up in the MCU one way or another. All right, we're nearing down to final 5 on my list. And at number 5 is an obscure person, Obscuro. I don't know why I say Obscuro, but why not? It's an obscure person. But her name is American Chavez. Chavez? Chavez. I think it's America or it's American. Point is that she's this Latina like Hispanic, like that's her background, and she kind of has this, like her sort of thing is she has this leather jacket, and she has like a Captain America shirt on her. But what makes her cool is that she's got these interesting powers, and that she's kind of inhuman. And I know the Inhumans ABC show did terrible, but maybe we could try again. Give the Inhumans a second chance. Maybe not those guys, but maybe we could try different Inhumans, because maybe this Inhuman could be one that people can relate to. This is a chick that could be relatable, not only with her backstory, but with her background, because that is the big thing now, is a lot of diversity, and just that sort of background can make a person go, oh yeah, I can relate to her, because she has the same sort of like thinking as I would think, or maybe I would think the same things. She's young, so you got that. So she's a teenager. You got sort of like young people maybe interested in her. I'm a little bit on the upside and downside of this, but Marvel's done recently the Marvel Rising cartoons with the mini movies, like with they had like what was it called? There was one movie they did where they had all female characters. Like there was like Kamala Khan, there was Squirrel Girl. She was in it. Quake was in it. Captain Marvel was in it. Who else was there? There was a lot of female characters. There was Spider-Gwen, all sorts of female characters they brought to this cartoon and everything. They made it all about, yeah, female people, female power, woman power, sort of thing like that, I guess. So that gives her sort of her, I guess, her popularity, maybe her recognition, and seeing how we're gonna get that what if MCU. Well, actually, it's not even gonna be an MCU. Seeing how we're gonna get that what if story, that cartoon show, and the first episode, literally the first episode, is gonna be about Peggy Carter being Captain America. And as much as I would freaking love to see that as an MCU film, the what if stuff. As much as I love for them to make it an MCU thing, because they have half the MCU cast. Like they got Josh Brolin, they got Michael B. Jordan, they got Chadwick Boseman, they got Haley Atwell to voice their characters, but it's a cartoon and they're not going to be a part. And this is stuff that's going to be outside the MCU. It'd be great if this was a live-action MCU show, but it probably won't happen. But I'm still going to be excited about this. So this still doesn't close the door on the idea of having a woman like Captain America, because the idea is, like, anyone could be Captain America. Anyone could be Spider-Man. Anyone could be these heroes, whether man, woman, skin color, doesn't matter. You could feel yourself in those shoes and feel important. And I think this woman, this American Chavez, could really bring that in many ways, in many aspects. Number 4, Kamala Khan. Speaking of her, so it's this same thing kind of implies to what I said before, that she's Hispanic. She's got kind of like an not African American. She's got Hispanic, like Latino, like roots in her. So there's that sort of diversity. Honestly, I kind of want to see more. I want to see Kamala Khan actually show up in the MCU at one point. She definitely has a nice, spunky personality, something funny. She can be funny. She's very witty. How geeky she can be. It's really hilarious sometimes seeing her geek out the fact that, oh my gosh, I am an Avenger. I get a kick out of it sometimes. So it'd be funny to have someone in this universe kind of be like that one fangirl, that one fanboy, just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm a superhero. And her powers are very unique. And that what makes her her, and that she's also got a human background. And hopefully we can get a better adaptation of the Inhumans. Maybe establish Kamala Khan, or whatever the case is. And I think this could also make possibly Captain Marvel a better franchise. Like, maybe make the second one or third one involve Kamala Khan. You got the next Captain Marvel, and you got the next Miss Marvel right here. And there you go, done deal. Right there. Boom. I don't know. But it'd be cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm into this sort of thing. I saw a great fan art poster with her on the cover, and Captain Marvel's silhouettes in the back, and I'm like, that's really cool. And plus, she's really popular with her modern comics, and that she's showed up in recent years, and she's definitely relevant within Marvel and everything. So there's a lot you can have with her do, and showcasing her powers. And we don't need it to be where it's like she knows how to do this. It's always sometimes interesting for audiences to see her sort of train and sort of build her powers and develop them over time, and see how well she can control them and still work through like the normal average teenage life, kind of like how successful and well Spider-Man does it. Let's have another teen do it. Not that I'm saying let's do the same thing over again, but you got to have that relatability. And definitely Kamala Khan has potential. Number 3, Iron Woman or Iron Heart. So I have that option there. Either way, I think it'd be great if we see an Iron Woman. I don't care who the Iron Woman is. Maybe it could be Pepper Potts, seeing how she's now rescued in Endgame. It could be maybe like a futurist. Maybe it's like somewhere in the future, maybe another world where we have Morgan Stark, Tony Stark's daughter, now Iron Man, Iron Girl, Iron Lady, maybe stuff like that. Maybe we can have Shuri, since people have wanted Shuri to maybe be our possible Ironheart. We could maybe bring Riri Williams. Marvel has been rumored about Riri Williams for a little bit. So there's definitely an idea of having an Iron Woman in this. I think it'd be cool, and plus there's a lot of potential because we've seen what Rescue could how cool Rescue looks. Let's see how else she can what else she can do. Let's see Shuri. People want to see more of Shuri, especially with the idea of like maybe she can be an Iron Person. Maybe she could be the next Black Panther. People want to see more of Shuri. She's awesome. She's a badass. She's funny. She's smart. She shows great potential. She knows how to use weapons. She's a genius with her capabilities. Let's see Morgan Stark. I want to see her as this Iron Girl. I think that'd be cool. Somewhere in the future we see her. Plus, we were supposed to have this sort of idea. There was an actress, I forgot her name was, from 13 Reasons Why. Not the best show, but I see where Marvel's like looking in terms of, okay, she is a great actress, and she's a young star. So let's bring her into the MCU. She was supposed to be like I don't know if it was a deleted scene or a dream sequence or something in the future where she would have been like an older version of Morgan Stark. And that would have been really cool to see a young, maybe like teenage, maybe Morgan, and then maybe she's learning to be Iron Girl or Iron Woman or whatever, an Iron Person. Or there's Riri Williams. Riri Williams is definitely new to the table, especially with how well the Ironheart comics are doing. An African-American woman being Iron Man sounds really cool. Diversity again, badass, stuff like that. So, Marvel, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. Some of these things are too good to pass up. Don't pass these up. I'd do something with these. Number 2, She-Hulk. Now, it has not been said anything set in stone about anything involving the Hulk because, let's face it, Universal and Disney, I don't know where their contract is now, but apparently we can't see any sequels to the Hulk. We can't see another Hulk movie by himself, it seems like. But he works as a side character, as a secondary character, as a backdoor character, it seems like. But I know they haven't established this or not, but I would really like to see more of Hulk's rogue, more of his lore. Seeing how we're kind of developed that a little bit more in Endgame, he's now Smart Hulk. Maybe a possibility, I think his name's Mr. Fix-It, Gray Hulk, maybe stuff like that. Maybe we could see Red Hulk down the line. Somewhere maybe we could see Rick Jones as a reference, somewhere down there. But definitely one I really want to see the most, besides Red Hulk, besides a leader, is She-Hulk. I think it'd be fantastic to get She-Hulk going. I think it would be fantastic whether we put her in an MCU film, or she could easily have her own Netflix show. I think there's definitely room for there. There's definitely ideas and casting, and the more you cast and the fan cast you put out there, the more people will be excited about this. And this definitely has me excited, especially if you can have someone maybe go like lawyer-like with maybe like Tina Fey. A lot of people are looking at Rosario Dawson. I think that'd be awesome. She could definitely have that sort of attitude that She-Hulk has. The fact that we'd see more Hulk characters is just a bonus for me. And maybe, who knows? She's definitely a badass. She's really strong. Definitely can hold her own. And this is a character that can really hold her own. She has definitely appeared a lot in not the MCU, but in Marvel Comics. She's been an Avenger. She was with the Fantastic Four a few times. They did that cartoon show, Hulk Age of Smash. That did okay. But I liked with what they did with She-Hulk, having her and Hulk, obviously they're cousins, maybe bring something there. Who knows? Point is, She-Hulk would be awesome. This is one I would want to see the most. This is a character I would want to see the most that has not appeared yet in the MCU. Out of everyone out there that's Marvel Comics, every female character that's in a Marvel comic that has not showed up in the MCU yet, She's the one I would like to see. But before I unveil my number one pick, let me look at just a few honorable mentions for this. Let's see. White Tiger. I like White Tiger. I know there's a male White Tiger, but I think the most recent White Tiger is I forgot her name is, but she's now the daughter of the original White Tiger. And I like it's one of the few things I like about Ultimate Spider-Man, like not the comics but the cartoon that Disney XD used to do, and how well they kind of brought her and sort of the background she has, and her story is really cool. Plus, I think that suit would look awesome on a big screen, having the White Tiger or the Tiger amulet, have this maybe tied to Black Panther. Who knows? There's like I said, there's potential. Speaking of Wakanda, Shuri. Again, Shuri, smart, intelligent, funny, badass. Definitely a weapons expert. Definitely a woman of technology. Definitely a woman of science. Knows what she can do. There's definitely popularity and not popular, but maybe petitions, maybe just people out there just going, let's see Shuri. Maybe she could be an Iron Woman. Maybe she could be a Black Panther or somewhere down the line. Maybe she becomes Queen of Wakanda at one point. That could be a what if story. What if T'Challa wasn't King of Wakanda, but Shuri became Queen of Wakanda or Princess of Wakanda, you know? Have it be where you have the what if story switch. Shuri's the older sibling and T'Challa's the youngest. That would be cool. I would definitely love that as an episode. Let's see. Don't mind me. I'm looking at my notes. Let's see. Tigra. Tigra is a wet. I know her best as like I know she was an Avenger, but I know her best as a West Coast Avenger member. And I thought at one point she would have been maybe showed up in Agents of Shield because I think there was a teaser that was a rumor or something along those lines, but. I know she's not the most interesting character, but it'd be cool. I remember reading a little bit about Tigra. She's definitely really cool. Fearsome. That is for sure. Fearsome. Let's see. Jessica Drew. Jessica Drew going with the whole Into the Spider-Verse sequel, possibly bringing in more female Spider-Women. Plus, it's just really cool to see a lot more Spider-Women because yes, people are aware of Spider-Gwen, but people don't know about Jessica Drew and how much she was really cool. Like, not only did I like her costume, but I liked the things that she would do. She was a Shield agent. She was, I think she was a double agent for Hydra. All sorts of stories involving her. I think she had a thing in the Secret Invasion. All sorts of things that happened. It was crazy, and you'd be surprised how much stuff happened with her. Let's see. Captain America 2099, Roberta Mendez. I think the more we maybe go into 2099, the more I think it'd be like with having Spider-Man 2099 be a thing. Let's see more of the 2099 world, and again go with the idea of a female Captain America. I like the idea of seeing more 2099. That's one of my favorite Marvel ideas, or what ifs, or stories, or future things. Is 2099. Even though it's the only future that Marvel has, not that it has, but I mean like year-wise. Plus, the world is just really cool. I love it. I love it. Spider-Man. I like some of the things it does with it. Making 2099 a movie and having maybe this Captain America, Roberta Mendez, be a thing. That'd be great. Silk. Silk is another popular modern Spider-Woman that people are starting to love. She's an Asian person, an Asian woman. She definitely has a nice badass look to her with this like the red bandana around her mouth, like white and red, and I think a little black. Looks really awesome. I may not know much about her, but I know little things about her, and the more I look at her and more I research about her and the more I read about her, the more I want to see a movie involving her. Maybe even show up in Spider-Verse 2. Who knows? Now, these last two are going to be a little bit confusing, but it's a whole nother story. But, so, I first have, let's see. Now, the first thing I have here, actually there's three. So, first thing is Pun Pun Kill-chan. Now, this was an old, like, Super Best Friends, Matt Punisher series, like the Punisher series, Super Best Friends Punisher series, like joke about Punisher being a Chan, and honestly, it was hilarious. But one day, I think this must have inspired me to want to see like an actual Pun Kill Chan. Was I want to give I want to, and this has to do with a shout out to a Divid Art Brian 12. I think I might have got a hold of him one time. I don't know if he remembers, but still. So I saw that work of art, and I thought, you know what, this would be an awesome character to have as an Elseworld story. So not gender bending Punisher, but maybe you can have this be an Elseworld story, kind of like how there was an Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon episode where they had Peter Parker be a female, like Petra Parker. So what if they did that, but with Punisher in that world? Like instead of being Frank Castle, it's like Francis Castle or something like that. Something tied to that. Plus, I think it'd be really cool. It'd be really badass. And if you guys are familiar with that Dividend art, Brian 12's Punisher or Pun Kill Chan, it looks awesome. I love it, to be honest. It's brutal and it's badass. And it makes me want to see something like this. Maybe Marvel could jump on this idea, jump on this bandwagon of, hey, let's make this character an actual comic book character. The second one I have here that's kind of a little bit odd is I don't know if I think I might have told Brian 12 about this because I might have contacted him at one point, but Devilet Chan. So do this. So have that pun thing, but we do that with Daredevil as well. Like we make an Elseworld like female Daredevil. Like it's like instead of Matthew Murdoch, it's Madison Murdoch. Maybe do something like that. Brian 12, if you're watching this, please make this an art. I will seriously pay you if I can. Maybe we'll see, but still, I will pay you if I have to. That and Ghost Rider, because I've seen some great cosplay of like if Ghost Rider was a female, still going with the Elseworld like female world, I guess maybe thing. I think it'd be really awesome. Just a little few silly things. It's cool, but it's probably not going to mean anything. But it's worth a shot. So yeah. But enough about that. Let's get down to my number one pick on my top 10 female Marvel characters that should get their own MCU movie is Scarlet Witch. I know she's got her own TV series. She's going to have WandaVision and everything. She's going to appear in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm happy for that. I'm excited for WandaVision. But I seriously really think that next to Black Widow, Scarlet Witch deserves her own movie. I would love to see Scarlet Witch. I love to see more of Scarlet Witch. Now, I love Elizabeth Olsen. I love what she kind of does with this character. Sure, it's a bit confused. Sure, it's a bit weird because she kind of went from having an accent to no longer having an accent, having brown hair to red hair. It sort of changed. She always changes her look, always makes it a bit revealing. I'm kidding, just joking. But jokes aside, I seriously want Scarlet Witch to have her own movie. I think definitely Elizabeth Olsen could carry out this movie. She has the talent. There's definitely potential for this character. And what I love most about Scarlet Witch is that she is surprisingly a lot more powerful than Jean Grey. And that can blow people's minds away. And we've barely seen what Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch can do. We've barely seen what she's capable of. And this could work many ways, this Scarlet Witch film. This could be after Doctor Strange 2. This could be after Civil War. This could be after Infinity War. This could be before Infinity War. And how she kind of progressively became more stronger, more powerful. What did she do all this time? Maybe after Civil War, maybe before Infinity War. What did she do after Age of Ultron? All sorts of things you can really bring into this. So she has that potential, and I want to see her become more powerful. Honestly, I think not to throw shit or anything bad at Brie Larson, but I think Scarlet Witch deserves this film more than Captain Marvel deserved a film. I know Captain Marvel is powerful in the comics, but the problem with the first Captain Marvel, I want to say real quick, is I've barely got the scope of how powerful she can be. And I know we'll explore that in a sequel, but the way Marvel built up Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, was like, oh, the way people thought of it was she's the most powerful being in the universe. She could take out Thanos. So people were thinking, and my mind was thinking, so is she like able to one punch Thanos and then that's it, he's dead? And then there you go. That's how powerful she is. Does Can she destroy the Infinity Stones? What can she do? And when we see Captain Marvel so far, it's very little, and it kind of annoyed me. Like nothing. Not to throw anything bad, but I mean, I wanted to see more of her capabilities. I wanted to see how powerful she can really be, and it didn't. This movie didn't give me so much. Captain Marvel didn't give me so much of it. And even seeing her in Endgame, sure, she was cool, not gonna lie, but still, you expect this person to be like, oh my gosh, she's gonna knock out Thanos and save the universe and be the big Avenger that she's apparently being built to be, if not bigger. And what happens? She gets thrown by Thanos. And I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, she's got this shield. Apparently, Thanos can't break her shield, but boom, one good hit, she was down. I was kind of like, okay. And the fact that she was barely in Endgame. Where were you during this whole shenanigan, whole shithole that was the quantum realm, and that was the battle sequence before everyone showed up and whatnot? Not saying anything bad with Endgame, but just one of the little things I was kind of like, where was Captain Marvel during all this? And because she saves Tony Stark and then leaves, and then you're like, where is she now? What is she doing? And it's kind of like not a lot to do. Scarlet Witch, I feel like deserves more of this like idea of like she's more powerful than any of the Avengers, if not almost more powerful than this person or that person. Because she shows a lot more skill than Captain Marvel does in terms of destroying Thanos. Because seeing her fight Thanos in Infinity War and in Endgame just blew my mind away. And just every sequence I see with her, not only is it sexy, I'm kidding. I know my girlfriend's probably watching this. I love you. I love you. I can't. Fuck. Excuse me. That. Yeah. But, fuck it. No, I'm kidding. Because I know some people will be like, oh, this is so cringy. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Fuck it. But, I need to laugh for a second. Just for a sec, because I know what's going to happen next. So, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm just making a joke. Sure, Elizabeth Olsen's a fine woman. She's a beautiful actress. She definitely makes that character very revealing. But jokes aside, I like what she does with her character. And it makes me want to see more of her rather than Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, honestly. And I like that we're seeing more of her in the films because she's made appearances and she's played secondary characters and side characters and maybe cameos, but she hasn't starred in her own movie. And I would love for maybe her to explore that at one point, especially if we get to the point where she is capable to be as powerful as she is portrayed in the Avengers vs. X-Men comic. Because I love how she was handled in that story arc, how powerful she was. And I want to see Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch like develop over time, and that way maybe by like after phase 4, maybe into phase 5, we see that Scarlet Witch, that she's like Avengers vs. X-Men Scarlet Witch, where she's more powerful than the freaking Phoenix, and the Phoenix Force almost destroyed the entire universe. So to say Scarlet Witch could fight Jean Grey, fight the Phoenix Force, and take care of that shit is beyond powerful. Beyond. And I want to see that happen with Elizabeth Olsen. I want to see that in the MCU over time. So maybe we can at least have a few movies, have her appear in more of these films. I like that we're seeing more of her because we got Age of Ultron, we got Civil War, we got Infinity War, we got Endgame. She's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. She's got her WandaVision. Maybe we can see a film about her, stuff like that. Ironically, I've kind of pictured the idea of whether it's Scarlet Witch's own film or in a Doctor Strange 2, Scarlet Witch would show up. Or if it's Scarlet Witch's movie, Doctor Strange would be training her, and I like that because then you can have a sorceress of Supreme, like maybe training under Doctor Strange's wing. And not only, I think this is really cool and compelling because not only is one person learning from another, because Doctor Strange is a lot more experienced than Scarlet Witch, but what you could do is you can have the idea of like she's learning from Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange is also learning some things from her. Because not only is she a powerful, like, what do you call it, miracle, but she can over time, maybe eventually, since Disney and Fox made that whole acquisition, we can finally maybe have the idea that she's a mutant, go into that sort of thing. The struggles that she has, to see her control and her emotion would be awesome. And that is why I think she should be the next MCU film in terms of female characters. And sure, people are going to say Black Widow over her, but Black Widow's getting her own movie. Let's give Scarlet Witch a chance. She's the second female character that's ever showed up in this universe, and we've seen more of her, luckily, but still doesn't mean that we've seen her potential. We haven't seen her get her own movie. Her appearing in these sort of side characters and in these other movies like Avengers films and stuff like that, sure, that's great. That shows that is building up stepping stones on how powerful she can be. But we haven't seen her reach that full potential and how she got to where she is with A, B, and C and 1, 2, 3. So those are the female characters that I want to see get their own films in the MCU. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Let me know in the comments if there's any female characters, any characters you want to see in the MCU. It could be male, female. If you want to keep it female, let me know some heroes, heroines, villainesses, any of them. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, every week. And don't forget to ring that bell to get notified of new videos, new content, stuff like that. If you want to check out my last video / my next video, because the thing is, I recorded this yesterday, but I plan to upload this after this video. I did a review for Zombieland. I hope maybe you guys go check that out, like it, hate it, whatever, find out over there. So there's that. I'm looking to do some more things with this channel, try and do different things here and there. I'm still working on editing and whatnot. So there's that. One more thing I want to say about that Zombieland review. I was over in Orlando for that time, for that day or two. So there's that. And then I'm back home here. So there's that. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this, Kayla Timmons. I love you. And I know some people would be like, "That's cringy." Shut up. I'm kidding. But that's all I have to say. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure. Wait. Okay, I'm back. I thought I lost myself for a second. I'm not sure when the next video will be, but besides that Zombieland review, other than that, if you guys want to suggest anything, don't be shy. Whether you want to leave your opinion on something or whether you want to suggest something, request. I'll take requests on things. I'll take requests on movie reviews. Maybe we'll go into TV shows. I'll review comics. We'll do stuff like that, like I've covered before. Well, not yet, but I've covered on other videos about doing TV show reviews, stuff like that. Maybe, well, actually, speaking of TV shows, real quick. Speaking of TV shows, not next month, but in September is not only going to be my birthday month. I'm going to have my 18th birthday on September 19th, stuff like that. But September is also going to mark the 25th anniversary of Friends. So if you guys want to see any things in terms of Friends, maybe I'll do a top 10 list on maybe my favorite moments in Friends, maybe Friends episodes, maybe do something along those lines, maybe talk about TV shows or review maybe the show, who knows. Let me know your opinions, comments, suggestions down below. And always feel free to lend me suggestions or lend me any input whatsoever. And I appreciate all of you for helping me out with figuring out editing and stuff like that. I'm working on it. We're trying to, both me and not necessarily my neighbor, but he's obviously my neighbor in the community, Jaden T Incorporated. That's why I'm always there all the time, almost every day, if not every week. So well, maybe we'll shoot something there. We're planning to maybe do my mains. We did his mains on his channel. Maybe we'll cover my Smash Bros mains, and we'll also have Alex cover his. So we'll do videos on that. Maybe we'll do a Smash Bros video there as well. Maybe we'll do Brawl. Maybe we'll do stuff like that. We're gonna try and cover and edit as much as we can. It's just editing. It's just that editing is kind of being a pain in the butt for us because we can't edit on YouTube, and we're trying to, and I can't get Adobe on here, and it doesn't work. Photoshop doesn't work on here. I need to find websites and find other ways to edit. There's some things I can do on YouTube, but not as much as people used to, and you'd be surprised. So bear with us, people, and I hope you appreciate what we're trying to do and everything. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.